Welcome to another episode of me flipping PCs for profit. All right, I am flipping PCs until I buy a house. Of course, this is not the only reason why I flip PCs. I actually want to make money doing it, and this PC right here has been sold, flipped for 264 euros and some change. Guys, what is left for me to do now is to go ahead and set up this PC, make sure it's clean in and out, make sure everything is ready to go, and go ahead, send it to the buyer. See, gone are the days where somebody goes to your shop, buys something, and then you begin to foot drag. You do not want to send it out. If that is the case, eBay is going to make sure they penalize you, for delaying shipment of items that have been sold on the platform. You see, eBay does a lot of work to make sure that buyers see items on the platform, and sometimes when people see items, they see things like 1-day delivery, 2-day delivery, at the most 3-day delivery. So when people buy these items, the least thing they want to encounter is a situation where somebody doesn't receive his item until like 1 week later. If it happens like that, definitely they are going to complain. And when a lot of customers are complaining about your item not being sent on time, eBay is going to penalize you. And I hope that this is not the mindset that you have if you are thinking of flipping PCs for profit, because it's not going to work.
All right, guys, today has been pretty much very, very successful. This mini PC actually did sell via promoted listing, and I did create 2 offers. One, I was just running a test because in the last weeks I have been running a series of tests just to see exactly what is going on, because I want to be able to tell if this promoted listing thing, even while promoting at eBay's suggested promoted listing percent, if it's capable of, turning things around in your shop. And this is a test I've been running for well over 2 weeks now. I've been documenting it, trying to report to you guys just to be sure that, look, we all are on the same page when it comes to this, promoted listing thing. I created this offer, and eBay suggested to me that the item should be promoted at 12.5%, which naturally is, on the high side. I'm not going to sit here now and tell you that, look, adding 12.5% again to your final value fee is easy. Of course, I did pass this cost to the buyers, because I'm not going to sit here and just work for nothing. I also want to make a profit, and this is the exact reason why I am doing this. Everybody, we are all in business, to ensure that at the end of the day, you're able to pay your bills, you're able to, pay your house rent, pay your car notes, pay your insurance. This is the reason why we are all here in business, all right? So what I did do was to pass this cost to the potential buyer. So whoever would have seen this offer and had bought it, of course, was buying this PC, at a much more expensive price. Just imagine for once that there was no promoted listing fee. Of course, the buyer would have bought this PC. I don't know right now off my head what 12.5% would have amounted to from the sales price of 264 euros, but I understand that the buyer must have paid quite a lot. But I did create another offer where the promoted listing fee was 0%. The offer was not promoted, just to enable me track, how the 2 offers will perform. But like I always said, I noticed that even the offers that are not promoted also tended to get views. This PC sold now, had about 34 views, and the one that wasn't promoted, at 0% promoted listing fee, had about 26 or 27 views as at the time, of me taking a look at my PC and seeing that this PC had sold. So what that tells me is that, look, even when the item is not promoted, people tend to see it. I wouldn't know why this buyer had gone out to buy the most expensive. Perhaps, I want to imagine that eBay had done a more aggressive promotion of this listing, which is promoting it outside of eBay, keeping it on the first page and even on the first search when it comes to, this particular PC in question. But then, yes, this is what it is. If you pay for something, you get result. All right. I used to promote all my offers at 5%, and I just realized in recent times that it wasn't working. But then I am grateful that at least things are selling. If you have a shop where things no longer sell, man, it could be very, very frustrating, especially when you are actually, depending on the proceeds of your shop to pay your bills. It could be very frustrating. And this is the reason why whatever you have to do to just make sure you make sales, please do it. If it is promoted listing, go as high as promoting your offers at the fee that eBay is giving you. The puzzle you have to now figure out is how do you still make profit, because there's a limit to which you can just keep increasing your price. This particular PC right here, it was pretty much a monopoly. I took a look at eBay and I saw that there was actually nobody, offering this kind of PC with the same configuration. So it was okay for me to actually, bump up my price with about, 20, 30 euros. It is what it is, and somebody saw it, felt like this is exactly what I want. But if you are selling a crowded market, say everybody is selling the same item at pretty much breakneck price, 1, 2, 3 euros profit. I mean, there's pretty much nothing you can do about that. The normal advice would just be, when you have such product, leave them alone. It doesn't matter if you have to promote them at 20%. You are just going to be schemed out of things because your item is going to be more expensive. At the end of the day, you won't be able to make any profits, and it just makes no sense. So if you can identify items that are actually being needed in the market, but where the competition is not pretty much breakneck, this is the sweet spot that you have to be. I'm driving to the post office now. I'm pretty much done, but I still have to go to the warehouse because there are still some few things that I have to sort out. There are some returns, that needs to be put in place. I need to refund the buyer because the item got delivered. This was one of those things. I'm going to be talking about this on a separate video. There are some offers that need to be corrected. There's a new PC that needs to be listed. These little things, and then my listing templates and, my price calculator and stuff like that. I did do a major overhaul. I'm going to be talking about it as well, making sure that, I kind of explained to you guys why it is very important for you to have a price calculator, because when you do this business and you feel like you want to make a living out of it, you have to know your numbers. You have to know, to the last cent, what your money is being spent for and what profits you are making per item. Because if you are not careful, you might go to the market, buy some stuff, and you might be thinking that you are making profit because you tend to be selling. But when you look at the individual items one-on-one, you compare the price at which you bought and the price at which you are selling the items, you might be surprised to find out that you are really not making profit. And even if you are making profit, it might be very, very marginal. So I did a major overhaul of my price calculator, and I intend to deploy it, today or tomorrow, test it and see how things can just get better. See, if you are doing this business and you intend to stay, long in this game, innovation has to be your best friend, Don't be discouraged when things are not selling. Don't now say that, look, I don't want to put in 10, 20 hours trying to innovate certain things because there is no motivation for me to do that. eBay is not paying me for the time. Guys, the more you can innovate and discover new things to make you really stand out or to make it possible for you to fight the competition, the better it is going to be for you. Hopefully, I should be able to talk more on my price, calculator, possibly tell you guys how you can develop one that would, suit your condition, suit the kind of items you sell. Let me know in the comment section if this is the kind of video that you want to see. And if I get a lot of requests, people asking me to do this kind of video, I'm going to go out of my comfort zone to try to create it. But then, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and be subscribed. Click on the like button. Until I see you in the next one, have a beautiful afternoon.